So an image map is another kind of fun way that you can build in some interaction into your website using images. So I'm going to show you here what I have. I have first an original image of a map. And by the way, using an image map doesn't have to be on a map. I have another practice set up where it's a bunch of buildings. Just what an image map is, it allows you to take one image and make it into multiple hotspots. So let's say I want that when you click on each one of my states, it could take you to a web page about that state. But to get an image map to make sense to the viewer, you want to make sure that you're using the image map with rollovers. So in other words, when I hover over Texas, just Texas is going to turn yellow, or when I hover over New York, just New York is going to turn yellow, red, or whatever color. It's not enough just to simply make any one of these parts of the United States into links. And I'm going to take this image and I'm going to actually, I just wanted to put these images on here to show you what I have. This is my first image, and then I'll show you the next one is a separate image that I have where I have created, this is going to be my rollover image where I've created a separate visual for New York, and then I'll show you, delete this one. I have one here for Texas. So these are all images that were created separately in Photoshop. So basically I took the same image and then I just selected the state and I added some text. So now that's just showing you where we're going to go. I'm going to take my main image, and that's the only one I'm going to put down on the screen, and I'm going to put it in, I have a container here, and I'm going to go about setting those hotspots. So the hotspots are what will make the different parts of my image into links. So I'm going to go down into my properties inspector, and all the way down here on the bottom I have these little tools that can make hotspots, and I can choose any one of them. Polygonal will allow me to make kind of custom shapes, so I'll do a little bit of that for Texas. It doesn't have to follow completely, just where's the main area that you think someone would grab. Now click back over here to my image. Oh, sorry, I'm going to undo that. What I want is to get my arrow, so I can click into my image and start this over. Now I'm going to take the rectangle hotspot and use that for Wyoming. I'll just make a hotspot over here. And it doesn't matter, as I said before, if it exactly fits. And now I want to get my arrow key to sort of deselect that one. And then I can decide what I want to do for New York. So I just have, for this image, I just have 3 other images set up. And I can use my rectangle or I can use the polygonal and kind of draw out my hotspots. Make it a little bit more of a shape, custom shape. So now already if I save this and I preview it, when I put my mouse over those 3 spots, I get the hand, which indicates there's a link. But as you can see, it's kind of hard for the viewer to tell, like, is this really all just going to take me to the same place or what's going on? And that's where the rollovers will come in. So also you may have noticed, why did I get the hand? Because when you create a hotspot, by default, Dreamweaver puts in the hashtag, which is a little trick that you can use to create, it's called a false link, and it's going to make the browser make your cursor turn into a hand. So ideally, I would actually link this. I'd have a page here that's called New York, probably, and taking my arrow key to select this one, in the link field, I would link it to New York. And so that would take it to that page. But for when you're first working with it, Dreamweaver is going to put in the hashtag, so it's going to always act like a link. So now what do I want to do is I want to set up my rollovers, and that is opening up the behaviors panel and swapping each one of these individually to the image I already made in Photoshop, where it's the whole image looks the same, but just one part's different. So I'll start with the one that's Wyoming, and I need to have my behaviors panel open, and I'll click on the plus sign and choose swap image, and browse for the one that is Wyoming, click OK, and click OK. Now I'm going to click on New York. Same thing, go to my behaviors panel, swap sign, swap image, browse for my New York image, and click OK, click OK. And last I'll do Texas, behaviors panel, plus sign, swap image, browse for Texas, and click OK, click OK. Now let's save it, Control S, and preview it. And so now when I go over New York, I go over these different spots, it feels like my image is alive. It feels like, yes, these are active hotspots, and if I click on them, this takes me to a blank page, but if I click on them, they're actually going to take me to a place. So this is another thing that you can use, one of those elements of interactivity that you can use, build into your website project.